And maybe I'll bring this over here. And we'll see how this works. Okay, I think YouTube is up and running. See how this works. Yeah, it is. I think Twitch is up and running. And let's see what it shows on my stream, on my channel. And okay, it's muted. Excellent. All right, so I think I can shut this off for now and concentrate on my restream comment. Can I mod? Yes. All right. Mark, you're a mod on Twitch now. Hope you enjoy. Let's see if that works. All right, here we go. Here we go. So this morning we added a little feature to copy the time on the finish dialog to the clipboard, and then we fixed a small issue with the detection for the underlying SVG elements. Now, I want to look at some other puzzles with different elements so we can kind of take a bit of a look how that all works. Oh yes, and I changed the style. I didn't like the sharp edges on the red highlights, so they're like rounded now. I'm still not entirely happy with them. I think the spacing between them needs to be much bigger. It feels like it's quite big already. Maybe the dash, like maybe it just needs to be like this, the same spacing. Because I think the roundness encroaches into the spacing between them. So the end cap of the line segment. So even though the space is the same, the round part takes away from the space, right? So if I round them like this, I actually need to increase. Actually, which one is the spacing? I guess the first one. So maybe I increase the spacing like that. Yeah, I think that's all right. And the roundness is sort of to imply that this is just temporary, that is not what the thing actually is styled like. Now we might get a bit of a problem when we're actually applying styles to it. Because of course, we actually want to represent what these styles look like. But for now, this will have to do. Okay, so we can now fairly easily edit these. Now in this case, for example, the colors aren't part of the cages. And I'd like to have background color as a property of the cage. But it's really just a cosmetic thing, right? So it's really just placing colored things behind the thing. It's more like an editor convenience, right? It's the same thing as creating the colors separately. But if I tie it to the cages, maybe doing something like this to edit the cage would also update the colors. So the next step is, I think, is to update how our components handle the UI. I mean, we've had a prototype of that before. So we just... this gets much smaller when there's a title showing. So for the editor, I might want to do something about that, maybe even hide it completely. Okay, so right now the puzzle editor initializes here. Oh, I was looking into a puzzle before. That might be a good test case for the editor as well. Where this one, for example, isn't. Whoops. Just to see, or to make sure that it also handles regular CTC IDs properly. Ah, it does not. Interesting. Why is this? Ah, because these cages don't have an RC value. Okay, so this is why we do these things, why we have different values. So in this case, they just don't have a value. So this needs to return blank, right? So if cage.cage value and just return, and I think we need to do the same thing for this guy. And we probably want to actually wrap these three up into the same thing. So we want to have a general function for different components that binds all their SVG elements, right? And let's see where this is being used. So instead of doing something like this, right now we have the data, we have the cells, and then we have these things, right? So instead of this, get cage elements, I think makes sense, right? So if we do something like const get cage elements or elements, and then it just does what those three guys up there do. But certain things can be done more easily, right? So then I can just do this. We'll do a bunch of stuff. Yada, yada, yada. And then we can do something like this. And then here we'll do let elements construct. Return elements. And here we do elements dot equals. And then we can do if blah 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 is not equals undefined. So if we have a cage value, then we can do both of these things together. So the value element first, well, we gotta parse the cage value, and that's something we have to do in both cases. And then we can do this, I believe. So elements dot val equals. Right, and then this thing, this function needs the R and the C. RCV. RCV. I was just thinking it might make sense to pull these find functions out because they can be a little chunky. Path element.get attribute d equals path. So if I do something like this, const find cage val, and then we pass in rc val, and then it just returns a function that takes an element and basically just does this. I'm just gonna do this to wrap it up. And then this is RC val, like that. And then this one is the last one, right? So with this we already have. Then we do these two. So the val element, so the val element we already have now. So then we can do this. And then this. I'm not sure why we're adding 2 here. Bounding box y plus 2. And I guess these are all magic numbers. Get connect expand by get bounding box Correct element. Yeah, they're magic numbers. All right. I'm gonna put a comment here. Magic numbers from... I think this is render cage, right? Render text. And then we'll do the same thing here, like we did here. So elements.valbg equals this. And then we're gonna do const find cage valbg. And what does it use in here? X and Y. We're just gonna do based on X, Y. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. X, Y. Then we get an element. And then we'd return this. So we have an X, a Y, and we have this arbitrary minimum distance. That's fine. And then we'll just put these in here. We have X and Y. Like that. Let's do it like this so they're not off the screen. Because out of sight, out of mind. It's a problem for me. Yeah, let me just... Somebody's asking how to create a killer Sudoku. Well, this is one way. Wait for me to finish this. I want to like this. All right. Enough promo, back to work. So we have the bounding box here. All right, so, wait, we're not calling this yet. And this comes, this we don't need, right? So now we should be able to do something like elements, get cage elements, cage. Now, obviously all the other code needs to be updated, so. 765. Pages cells included. Which is cannot find. All right, so obviously all those elm references need to be updated now. These we don't need anymore. And this other stuff happens. Yeah, 6 apply cage style. So cage.data and then cage.elements.path. Oh, wait. Cage data style, apply cage style. Okay, that's just to the path. And then update cage path. All right, update cage path. Where's that being called from? All right. So elements.val. Well, we can actually do something like path element. So we can do this. Let path as path element, val as val element, and val bg as val bg element equals cage.elements. And then we don't need these. Path element. Right. All right. So now some of these are broken. Subject knows no. 2 letters 618. 618. Get cage value. RC value. So if it was undefined, then return. Now here we have to deal with the return value. So let's see where that comes from. New cage value. Okay. Yeah, I want to sort this out just while it's happening. It's happening intermittently, so it's a bit tricky. But, you know, better now than never. 767. This.cages.find. This.cages. So at this point, I'm guessing this.cages just hasn't been loaded yet. And it probably shouldn't be cages, it probably should be components, right? So it should be cage editor is a base constructor. Cages. Cages equals this.cages. This.components. Cages. Cages. Components. Cage this dot. So, so this dot cages we're going to replace with components, and this dot components should be in the editor component. Should be set in the editor component, and components are initialized here, so we shouldn't have to worry about that. Now, of course, this needs to be done a couple of other places as well. Dot cages. Now dot cages would no longer exist inside the component. Here we go. And I should not have enabled that. Okay. So far so good. But I think for testing I actually want this one because we now, well, actually, well, doesn't matter. We're now proceeding to add the editors here. And right now, our editor component here, our cage editor component, it does not have any UI. And we need to figure out where and how we are attaching that UI, right? So, currently, I think we're handling puzzle loaded. Open current puzzle. For each editors. So init attach creates the editors. Here we're attaching the UI elements. So right now we're not actually quote unquote entering the tool at all, right? So let's enter tool exit, destroy element, into enter, attach element, open current puzzle. So attach element, and then open current puzzle. Where does open current puzzle get called? So do open current puzzle gets called from wait. Tool. This is deprecated. Handle tool enter. Wait a second. 880. Oh yeah, that's not here. Oh, I'm so stupid. So we have handle tool enter here. Does it get called here? So handle tool enter is here. Handle puzzle loaded. Yada yada yada. Attach element. This dot open current puzzle. And then open current puzzle. Do we need to open it on startup or on tool entering? I don't think we need to open it on tool entering. Because fundamentally the puzzle shouldn't change. Now obviously the user could play and put digits in it, but I don't think I want to deal with that. Hey there. So let's see. So we don't actually want to do this here. So open current puzzle happens here on handle tool enter. But we don't actually want to do that. We want to do it on init. So we don't want to do this here. And then we probably handle puzzle loaded. Do we want to not just do that there? I need to indent these by another layer. In fact, init and done are also, tool events. Should be in here anyways. So these we want to get rid of. For now, I think if we just move this into init, open card puzzle. Now the question is the editors. No, the editor should already exist. Okay. So forget about that. Open current puzzle does that. Now attach element doesn't necessarily happen here, though. In fact, attach element should happen earlier. Or actually, no, it shouldn't happen yet at all here. So because this is stuff that belongs to when we're entering and exiting the tool, right? Like this. So handle tool exit. We have here and handle tool enter. So handle tool enter. We do want to do these, but we don't actually want to do the loading here. The loading should already have happened or should not be available yet. So go here, enter the tool, but the puzzle has already loaded at this point. And we can already edit. In fact, this though is not correct. Question is, nope. All right, nope. I haven't finished refactoring that code up here yet. So first of all, make sure these aren't being called elsewhere. Secondly, look up where this happens, 645. Update cage path. I must have just missed one or two here. Why would this not work? Data elements. valbg is not defined. Ooh. Get page elements. valbg is not defined. valbg is not defined. Alright. This is going to be a relatively short stream because I've started a bit late. This is going to run a ton of time, so we have to be a bit careful. Let's see. All of them are undefined. Shoot. Find cage. Because I'm using the wrong function. God damn it. Alright, that's sorted. Never mind. So that's fine. Then we don't need these anymore. These are just little helper guys here. This should still work fine now. Okay. So now we're entering the puzzle. Attach element handle tool, enter handle tool, exit. This shouldn't happen, but anyway, it does for now. So now it's not just attach element for us, but it should be also attach element for all our children. All right. I'm just trying to think. So here we're splitting out attachment and detachment of the element, and then the update of the element should also be separate. And I almost feel like this should be, you know, in terms of an entity-component system, that should be a component, not part of the inheritance. That's why object-oriented programming is inherently really, really flawed. And you always end up with weird workarounds. And I'm re-implementing it here, which is kind of silly. But for now, let me just put these in here. So the editor, not these old deprecated things, which I'm gonna formally deprecate here. So the editor component shouldn't have all these things. The editor component, which is what we're using for the cage editor, right? Yeah. The editor component should have handle attach. And I don't think I'll do it handle because it doesn't really act as an event handler. And this is gonna look similar to what we're doing in these two. So ultimately that should inherit from this and have the same, and just inherit these properties, right? And then attach element. Attach element should ideally return the element as well. So then we can just inject it as a child. So this is all deprecated. And we're doing it in the same place here. Yeah, so this is going to be very similar to this actually. This dot editors, editor dot attach element. And these should then, now right now they're not, but these should just slit into this array and just work there. I don't see it happening. We have puzzle editor to attach element. And then we have the cage editor, which should have an attach element here. And that should be a detach. So that means that the one down here is also wrong. Handle puzzle loaded. Oh no, wait, here it is. Okay. Okay, and then that gets overridden in our guy here. So b.attach. And I don't know if we don't pass parents in from here. And this code, where's this coming from? This is going to come from our cage editor. So we have our section cages, get UI element, and it's basically this bit here. That goes down here. Okay. So it's basically this thing. And then nope. Nope. Let's skip the event handlers for now. Whoops. Come on. My double click game is faulty today. All right. And this should go all the way through to cage editor attach element, right? But this isn't working. Probably because it is currently hidden. Maybe. Let's check if it's actually being attached. Tool section. Yeah. So this should be currently display none. And then there it is. Okay. So we need to attach it and then we need to visualize, display it. All right. And that previously we did in handle tool change, which we don't have right now. So handle tool enter, change section. So right now this doesn't do a thing, but I think it's using this. Let me look at this CSS quickly. Yeah, not the greatest, but for now we'll just do that. Actually, you know what? Let's go even sillier. Attach element, and then change section. Wait, where did we do this? Handle section change. Change section happened more than one place, right? Handle section change was an okay. All right, let's see. Set or select. What do we call them? Sub editors. Select editor, cage editor, editor. So for now, we're just going to do this. We're going to put this in here. And this is going to be our function to choose the different editors, cage editor, line editor, so on. And initially, we're just going to hard code it and call it. So after attach element, we're just going to do this dot select editor, object dot values, this dot editors. Wait, what is this dot editor? Is it an array? Yeah, so we don't really need the object dot values. So we can do this dot editor 0 dot name. And that should just select the first editor. Also select editor cages, right? And then select editor should currently just, you know, currently I'm just gonna do something like this. Let editor equals this dot editors dot find name equals editor name. Let's do this to be explicit. Explicitness is good. Dot UI element dot display. Oops. Block. Whatever. Nope. There we go. Look at that. And then we can wire this up to the thing once we start building the second tool. But for now, we just want to have that there. So now this thing has its own UI. Now this one is firing the generic handle add from our parent class here, which doesn't know anything about anything right now. So add component, handle add, there. And then this dot add component does all of this. All right. So the cage editor doesn't set up the component just yet. Okay. So the old thing should already know something about this. Yeah. How do you set up in the editable component? Base constructor, component class undefined, set component undefined. All right. And we call this load puzzle data. Am I actually creating cages here? No, I'm currently not creating cages here. All right, so that's obviously a little bit of a problem. So we kind of do want to create the cages here. Okay, so the component class is going to be our cage, editable cage, right? So editor component, editable cage section, cages. So I think we're gonna start from scratch here. So we have these, all these will be part of the cage editor. And like this, puzzle editor. Boom. Right. Now let's collapse this on level 3. So, and similar to this whole thing, we're going to have cage component, cage component, cage component, and this just extends component like this. Now, here, the component currently is a thing with a couple of properties that we're relying on, so we'll have to see. I'll have to see. And we actually don't want to create them just on the plus button for now. We actually want to be able to, we want to create them straight from the cage data, right? So instead of doing components.push, we actually do want to use our standardized stuff. And oh man, what I'm going to do with these, all of these. Wait, I'm going to do this. And just indent them all. Add this one. Yeah, slash base classes. I'll just do this. All right, rid of these, move these up. And then this becomes also, these also become part of deprecated. Helpers, deprecated base class. Here we go, cage editor, cage component, cage editor. Now, cage component is of type component. So here, it knows how to create itself, destroy itself. It has properties, yada, yada, yada. Can get serialized, all that stuff. All that good stuff. Now, most of these helpers here should disappear into the cage component. Oh, and the editor component should already have a helper for adding a component, right? So the editor component should have something like add component. So this creates, how does it create the component? Index, components. Oh, no, wait, select add component, right. Yeah, so add component. So I shouldn't have to do anything like that here. All I should have to do is this dot add component, and we'll just pass in the cage as our property. Boom. And it'll immediately blow up. 145. 145. 145. All right, all the deprecated stuff. I'm gonna move it all the way to the bottom. There you go. You can cry all you want down here. And in fact, this whole thing is also going to go into deprecation. Right there. And the spammers have arrived. Let's see. Add block list in restream chat. And I need to add... So what do I need to do? I need to report. Or do I need to do the other stuff first? Ah, I think I need to do the other stuff first. Oh, wait, maybe I can do this here. Hide users in this channel. And remove. Okay. And on Twitch, I don't think I have to do anything. All right. Swiftly dealt with. All right, sorry. Spammers. Okay, component class is not a constructor. Except it is. I'll show you. So add component 179. So it's going to be a bit of a pain in the ass to get all the gears meshing properly, especially since I'm making them with a chisel, basically. But once they're all in place, all the other stuff goes so much faster. So we're calling cage editor add component, which hits this, which looks at the component class. The component class should now be cage editor. The component class should be cage component, yada yada yada, and a bunch of components are being created. So now this component needs to actually know how to create itself. So log let's just do this quickly. Actually, let's switch to this one for now, so we don't get super crazy spammed here. Oh, this actually has a lot of cages as well. I think this one has fewer cages. You can use this one. Oop. Oh, wait. No, can't use this one. Not like that, we can't. But like this, we should be able to. All right. So now these cage components are being created with the cage data, except they're obviously not being created because they don't actually do anything. So now we have to make them do stuff. And cage idle load puzzle data, basically this is what they need to do. I just want to make sure cage component this and props. So the props are what's being passed through, which is good. That's the data that we're going to manipulate. And then from this format, we should be able to go back to the originating format. And then cells. So we're gonna do this dot cells equals I'll do net app equals framework. One sec. All right, I'm gonna finish the stream in about 10 minutes. I started a bit too late today, unfortunately. That's supposed to be a comma. And elements is gonna be this. And we're gonna do this dot props dot cells and this dot props. Or just props, actually. Now that sets those things up, and we probably can now incorporate these things into our class here. So we can just do we'll just put them on the as class methods, not on the prototype, because that's not really necessary. Oh, and that's our 56 minutes, whatever, for the music playlist. So I'm gonna start it up again, but I still gotta finish soon. All right, probably this parse cells. All these things should be. Ah, this is annoying. We have a little race condition. I hate doing that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna preload these here so they're internally accessible, but then I'm also going to make them externally accessible because I don't like hiding stuff, because it always bites in the butt later. Private stuff is rarely good, I find. Find cage valve. Oh, what am I doing? What am I doing? You know what? Screw it. We'll expose them when we need them. Right now, this is not our priority. Right now, we just gotta bring sanity back. Bring sanity back into the house. Okay. So, does that mean... No, it doesn't mean that at all. But we have these components getting added. And they have properties that somewhat resemble what we had earlier. So here are components, right? Props, elements, etc. And handle input move. So what this does is apply cage style, this.hover cage, apply cage style. The apply cage style should now be on the cage itself. So all of these should go in here. And I can now indent them one level further. Like that. And then I can just collapse them. And then here I can do something like p.apply style equals function style name. And apply cage style is being run like this. All right. I guess. Handle input move. Handle input move is not running at all. Wait a second. Why is handle input move not running? Puzzle editor. Puzzle editor. Tool events. Handle tool enter forward event. Oh, so we weren't in the editor. Ah, okay, never mind. Never mind. Yeah, the handle input move we don't need anymore either. Oh, okay. All right, it's finding the cages. Oh, and now we'll just do apply style. So we're just going to change this to dot apply style and nothing. That's it. And then here we're going to apply style, and this is the style name. Ah, okay. 333. There's another apply style failing somewhere. 351. Ah, wait, what? Of undefined reading style. Cage component. Sorry, helpers, apply style. You know what? There's no point doing this here. That should definitely live in here. So, style. If style is undefined, alright. Then let props goes this. Props. Yeah. That's the path. And here we go. We can have a local variable called props. I think. Yeah, if I don't do this, we can. Style is not defined. Style name, style name, style. Style name. Boom, boom, boom. Apply cage style is not defined. All right, so apply cage style is being called from input down. Somebody didn't get the message. That apply style. All right. Expect a token. Extra brace. Change, boom, select, boom. All right. And now we'll do the same thing with update cage path. So this moves in here as well. Can get rid of the cage word, obviously. And let's visualize this just a little bit. Do the same thing here for apply style. And then this should become dot update path. Update. All right. All right, cage is not defined, update path, right. So obviously we're not passing cage in. So that should be this dot elements. And this should be this dot props dot style cage. All right, so we can do stuff like let props Elements and cells equals this. So elements, props, cells. And that's comes props. Cage value. And we can't, because we're assigning it, so we can't dereference that as well. Cells, props.cells, yada yada yada, get cage value. Props. And any other references to cage? Cage. There's gonna be a couple more for sure. The path of elements is undefined. Console.log this elements. Does elements not have path? Update path. And I forgot. I forgot the bindings. Hey. Getting there. We're getting there. 338. Get cage value props. Get cage. New cage value props dot cells. No. This dot cells. I think cells dot map. Get cell outline each point. Cells dot map. Ooh, wait. Ooh, gotta be careful. What cells are we mapping here? Ooh, did I erase the original function? Yes. Be a bit careful here. Can read properties undefined 272 get cage value. All right, let's move cage value in here as well. That's kind of the last one. So p dot get value function get value let props elements. It's this. All right, and now instead of get cage value, we should have this dot get value. Is that the only place where we're using it? Oop. All right, cells.map is not a function. Yeah, so I think this needs to be something else. Is it where these cells? Yeah, I think what we're doing is I'm mixing things up, right? Let's see. Ah. All right. That's what I like to see. Now, some of you might think, hey, that's what we had earlier. And that's true. But now things are going into the places they need to go into. And once things go into the place they need to go into, things work better. One game, one art. Hey, Kava. It's blurry today? Uh-oh. Sorry about that. Is Restream messing with my resolution? It should be... It should be 1080p. One second, let me just take a look at it. It looks a little... The colors are a bit odd. But it does seem to be 1080p, whoops. Let me just check OBS here. I mean, OBS looks fine. No dropped frames. I'm hoping that Restream doesn't mess with the quality too much, because then obviously I'd rather stream directly to YouTube. It looks fine on my end. Anyway, sorry I didn't catch your message there. I was kind of like focusing. All right, get value. Now we have all these weird functions. They're gone. These stray functions, they're now wrapped into this component as they should be. It's less spammy now. Cage component 332 332 332. All right, thanks. Thanks for double checking on me on that fryer for me. Ah, here we go. All right, get rid of that stuff and okay, let's get rid of that stuff. 392. So all of this can be gonzered now. All right, so that's a lot simpler. In fact, we don't even need a reference to components anymore. Dot puzzle. We don't need SVG render anymore. Current puzzle. I'm just gonna do this here like that. That whole function basically disappears. Okay. And I definitely need to have a better way of deselecting. Okay, that works. And that seems to work. The 6 moves to the right location. All right. Do we have another example? Oh. All right. All right, so these look all fine. Let's get rid of some more of this log spam. It's always satisfying to get rid of that stuff at the end. Okay, don't need that anymore. Actually, for now we can just leave that here. And so now, so a bunch of components get created. Okay, that's fine. Components get added. Add component, new component props. So that's in the parent. New component props. Let's hide that for a sec. All right, and now we just have 9 add component calls. Here we should have 2, and then here we should have 14. All right. But now everything is kind of wrapped up. The components take care of themselves. One thing the cage component doesn't do right now is the rendering. I'm currently doing it via the update, which is a bit dodgy. So hopefully I can kind of simplify all of this stuff. So instead of this, we probably want to have a remove cell and add cell thing. So all of this might get simplified. If selected cage, by style nothing. Editor cage selected, that's fine. That's just managing that stuff. We probably should like have something like add cell, remove cell or something. Or update cells. Let's just do it. Add cell. Because the update path does the cell stuff as well, right? So this dot cells push cell, this dot update path. And similarly, remove cell. We'll just do it this way. I think that's all we need to do. Then I can just do add cell cell. Don't need that. And then here we'll just do remove cell. Cell. There we go. Don't need to return here, right? I can just do this. Ah, wait. if cage is undefined. If cage equals undefined, components cage cells include components find cage cells include. Okay, so okay, so if we're clicking on nothing here, we want to add a cell. If we're clicking on the current cage, we want to remove a cell. In either case, we want to escape out of here. What's the third option? We're clicking on a different cage, in which case we want to change the selection, right? Now, in these cases, if apply style, if this selected, actually, what I'm going to do is check this here. If this selected cage is not equal to this.hover cage, then we want to do all of this. I think that should be enough. So we're hovering, we're selecting, we're extending. Ooh, so the hover cage won't have been updated yet. In fact, I don't need to do all of this, right? Because we should have a hover cage. This move happens before down, right? So we can, instead of doing all of this stuff here, we can do it a bit simpler. So hover cage in these cases should be undefined. So if hover cage is undefined, if cell is not equal to undefined, and this. So if we have a selected cage and we have a cell, and this cage I think we don't actually care about, because that's hover cage, right? Hover cage has already done that work for us. So if this.hover cage equals undefined, do that. If this.hover cage equals selected cage, remove cell, and then this.hover cage equals undefined. In this case, this.hover cage equals this.selected cage. And that should sort this out as well. So I should be able to click this. Click. Nope. Sorry, my brain is freezing up. What's going on here? We're clicking here. We're assigning hover cage here. If select cage is unequal to hover cage, shouldn't this branch kick in here? Oh, wait. Yeah, and then it does this right after. Yeah, we can only do one or the other. So select, extend, remove. But then when we're removing, it deselects this one, which is not what we want. So if this is the same, we remove the cell. Hover cage is equal to undefined. If the selected cage is not equal to this.hover cage, if because in this case we don't want to deselect, right? If this.hover cage and this. So click here, here. Now I can't deselect, obviously. Oh, I can't remove either. Why can't I remove? If this.hover cage equals this.selected cage, remove cell, this.hover cage is undefined. If, one second, if I select this, click here, we should be hitting this here. Let's check. The hover cage here. So I click this and I click here. This.hover cage is false. Wait, what? Hover cage is false. That doesn't make any sense. Hover cage equals. You're setting it to undefined here. We're setting it to cage. Oh. This is wrong. Undefined. Return false. Okay, what happens here? The line. Something weird happened to that line. Something odd happens to that line. So hover cage is undefined. We're removing the cell. Let's just exit out before something weird happens and see. Here remove cell should kick in, right? And we should be able to output these twice and they should be different. Right, so I click this, boom. Wait. This undefined is line 395. So it's this dot hover cage is undefined. Quite clearly. Ah, wait, why is it undefined? Didn't I just click on the thing? Undefined is true. Why is this undefined? If cage equals this dot selected cage. Wait a second. If this hover cage, if cage is equals to hover cage, return. If hover cage is set, if cage is equal to selected cage, if I don't think we want to do this at all. If this hover cage has already been assigned here. If this hover cage applies star. Okay. If cage is equals to this selected cage. Return. I don't think we need to do this at all. Wait a second. I don't think we need to do this at all. Yeah, I think we just want to return false because we don't need to reapply the hover style here. And I don't know what that other code was doing before. If this dot hover cage. What the heck is going on here? So moving over, I click on it. I click on it. Undefined true. If cage is equal to selected cage. So hover cage is working fine. Now I've selected a cage. Now hover cage won't do anything on this one. Ah, wait. Not undefined. Cage. And return true here. What the heck? Ah, wait. So. So this is, wait. This is selected now. Ah, I screwed something up. So if I have a selected cell and I move off of it, it deselects it now. If I go here, select it, move off of it, it deselects it. So if cage equals hovered cage, we want to return true here, right? If, my brain, if this hover cage, so it's not undefined, then we want to remove it. But let's not be so hasty. Let's try to figure out first what's going on here. So I'm hovering over it, nothing happens, right? So this dot hover cage equals cage, yada yada yada. So now as I move over the cage, it'll hover. Right, now this one is selected. So if a cage is selected, just don't apply the hover style. If this dot selected cage equals this dot hover cage, return true. We'll just skip out. So we go here, select them all. This is selected. Now it doesn't react anymore. Right. Now if this hover cage, we remove it, then we can reapply it here. Sure. So that should do this correctly. Now this one is selected, but moving away from it shouldn't deselect it. And it doesn't deselect it, it just overwrites the styling. So if cage is selected cage, just exit out. But hover cage should get assigned anyways over here. We have a hover cage, move off it, select it. Damn it! If this dot hover cage and this dot selected cage is not equal to this dot hover cage. Now, why did it work before? What did I have there before that made it work? All right, let's fix it. Okay, that's it. End of the stream. All right, I need to clean this up though. But yeah, I know what's going on. This stuff is not super simple. Anyway, thank you very much for joining the stream this evening. It was a short one. We have reached 20 patrons, which is absolutely wonderful. So I'm going to prepare the new tier for setters this week. And then the next goal will probably be around 50, and then things are going to start getting serious. Thank you very much for your support. Please subscribe on YouTube. I'm still trying to reach that 100 subscribers to get the custom channel name. We're very close. I think it was 95 before. So, you know, a couple of friends and we'll be there. Thank you very much. The editor is coming along. It's going to be a lot of work to get it working really well, but, you know, usability is important, all that stuff. And yeah, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it.